did the writing project in the summer of 2000, and I have to say that I think it was a life-changing experience.
It drew out, I think, the best in me, and I thought I could see how it was a concept that also drew the best out of other people.
It's a very intense experience, and it was really hard, and I really loved it.
I didn't exactly know what was going to happen. It was the first time in the US that I was interacting with a group of teachers who were writers.
I could get up in front of people and I could talk. That surprised me.
I made a lot of discoveries that summer. One of them was that I could write.
We got to get up and sing and dance.
That writing wasn't this mysterious whatever, that it was something that everybody is capable of doing.
That was the exciting thing for me, to be in a group of teachers who were also writers. I went on to learn a great deal about collaboration, about community, about sharing.
I certainly walked away knowing that I could write.
There we were, talking about ourselves, talking about our writing, and I can't think of a better subject to motivate you as a person to understand who you are, to understand how other people and their experiences are part of the larger community.
It was awesome. It was just awesome.
I'm Janet Swenson, Director of Red Cedar Writing Project, the National Writing Project site at Michigan State University. Red Cedar Writing Project is housed in the Michigan State University Writing Center. The center and the Writing Project were each established 13 years ago. It serves as a premier site of collaboration between K-12 schools and universities. The keystone of the Writing Project is a 4-week summer institute. Each summer, teachers compete in a competitive application process to be selected for participation in the Invitational Institute. In that institute, teachers share with one another their best approaches to teaching writing. They work in writing groups, sharing pieces of writing that they're working on and bringing to publication. And they participate in research groups in which they identify questions they have about the teaching of writing. Once teachers have completed the Invitational Institute, they become National Writing Project teacher consultants. That credential is recognized internationally.
The National Writing Project understands how valuable your summer time is to you as a teacher. So along with the professional relationships that develop and the connections to the classroom practice that emerge, participants are also encouraged to apply because they can receive up to 6 complimentary in-state graduate tuition credits for AL 842 and AL 893D, or a stipend of $500. Teachers who choose to join our Summer Institute do so for a variety of personal and professional reasons.
A colleague of mine was involved in the Red Cedar Writing Project. She was a really good writer and an excellent teacher, and she had persuaded me for several years.
I saw a news item in the Lansing State Journal.
Teachers that I worked with had been a student here and then also came back as a mentor. And so she had given me the brochure originally, and I was in some other graduate classes and couldn't put it in last summer. But then when I saw it this spring again, I thought I'll just try, and applied and was accepted and was really excited.
Once they are involved with the Summer Institute, our participants share a variety of experiences to help them become better writers and teachers of writing.
This was different than the in-service type things that I had done before. It was kind of like a step back in time because it was very intense and I had to produce, and it wasn't superficial production. It was something that came from the heart, and you had to really express yourself and share what you were. That was the hard thing.
One thing that impressed me the most was how devoted and enthusiastic and positive and smart all the people are who are participating.
Lots of chances to talk and share things with the other people there. Lots of joking around, lots of fun.
I felt really motivated and inspired all month because the people here are too.
I could talk about myself and talk about my writing, and people would be motivated. And then I would listen to other people talk about their own writing and about their own lives, and I would feel highly motivated too.
As a kindergarten teacher, I had to present things to secondary teachers, and I thought, oh my gosh, they're not going to care about this. But they were very interested. I got to see what they did, they got to see what I did.
And those ideas think impacted me pretty greatly.
From day one, you could see this sense of collegiality, sense of community, really getting us excited and motivated and making us reach deep into our own humanity, into our own individuality, and combine community, individuality, and create a bigger community.
Many participants leave the Summer Institute with notebooks full of strategies, a portfolio full of writing, but the learning doesn't stop there.
I think one of the biggest things that I learned that summer is that if I want kids to write, I have to write with them. And that has been life-changing.
Being creative in my lesson planning, things that I've thought about anyway. I've just gotten some really good specific examples of how to do that in my classroom.
The things I took back into my own classroom was, first of all, how important writing was at every grade level. When I first started teaching, I sort of followed the model that the teachers before me had given. Don't even start the kids writing until like January. My kids start writing the first day of kindergarten. We start with a journal on the first day. It might just look like a little picture, but to them it's their story. The important thing was getting the story down, and they have lots of stories to tell. That was the biggest thing that surprised me.
But seeing other people teach and being sort of motivated by these other people, it gives me energy to try new things.
As you have heard, most participants find that this form of professional development is one of the most powerful ways for them to transform their teaching practice. It is different from a normal PhD experience in a variety of ways.
I've been thinking about a lot of connections with these the people in the project, so that gives me connections with other schools. So it feels like a supportive community on that level, but I think I'm only beginning to sort of understand or see how many other opportunities this might lead to.
A lot of things that I do in my classroom, I do as a researcher. And if I'm having questions or problems, then I know I can pick up the telephone and call somebody that's involved in the project and get their input to do a lot of improving. I'm never alone. There's always somebody that I can turn to, that I can lay a question in front of, and I know that the question won't be laughed at, that somebody's going to say, okay, let's think it through and see what we can come up with.
Once the Institute is over, this is where the real value in being a part of the teaching network begins. You will have opportunities to write for publication, becoming a PD consultant, Spartan Writers Camp, Green Rock HS Writers Retreat, teachers' research groups such as Capital Voices and Digital Portfolios, attending fresh and engaging PD workshops, continuity events for fun and collegiality.
I tell them it's going to be an excruciatingly hard and exceedingly wonderful experience.
It was neat. I really liked it.
There's just so many different things, so many ideas. You get a wealth of knowledge from your peers about how you can improve your teaching practices and how you can become a better teacher for kids.
A phenomenal experience that keeps giving long after the initial experience. It'll change your life.